Hello everyone, this is Bernice from the Napping Mouse, and in today's video I am excited to show you this here. I am calling this my fancy art journal. Yes, that's exactly what it is. It's a fancy art journal. I'm gonna show you how to add the eyelets in here. I'm gonna show you the papers that I've been using. Also, there's a little pocket here that I was able to make. And this is going to be one awesome journal. I mean, I'm really happy and excited that this is completed, and I am so waiting to show you how to make this. Okay, I'll show you an easy way to tie the bow. Okay, here we go. I'm going to tie the bow here and take both of this, twist it around and tie it like that. Pull the tail here at the end while holding the knot, and then you can pull the two bows together like this. Okay, and look how beautiful that looks. So nice, so beautiful. Yes. Okay, well, grab yourself your favorite drink and let's get crafting. The supplies that you're going to be needing is 15 sheets of 9 by 12 paper, 3 decorative paper measuring 6 by 8, a stack of heavy books, also, I'm sorry, the cardboard in the back, 5 by 6, and you'll need 2 of that. That's for the cover. And then also a plastic sheet to protect your surface, some glue, some clips, and also this is optional. You can use 1.5 inch or 2.5 inch ribbons. You can use some metal, ornate metal decorations for that also. And I have 2 eyelets, which I'll be using, and you'll see that later on. So here I am pulling apart the 15 sheets that that we'll be using to make the art journal. And this was from my daughter's collection. She doesn't need it anymore. She didn't take it, so I'm go ahead and reusing it. Save the cover of the pad and also the chipboard. And now just fold it in half. So at the 12-inch, you're going to fold it in half to make it four and what is it? I think it's going to be 4.5 by, it's going to be 4.5 by 12 right now. So take each of the 15 sheets, do it one at a time. Unless your paper is thin, then maybe you could do it 2 or 3 at a time. But if you have thicker art paper like this, one at a time is better. Now you'll need your trimmer and your bone folder. And at the 12-inch top, you're going to cut it at 6 inches, and you're going to do it for each of them. Now, again, you can cut it 2 or 3 at a time if your paper doesn't move that much. I tried doing that, but it was just better to just do it one at a time. So I did it for all 15 sheets here, or excuse me, 14 sheets. I have 2 um, separate, and you'll see that later on, well, what I've done. So here's the end of doing all of that, and I'm gonna stack them up. Now, get your glue and your clips, and you're going to make sure that the spine is all set. Now, this one didn't get cut at 6 inches, and so I'm just correcting that. I know that one of my other pages is going to be shorter, but you won't even see that, or it won't even bother me personally. So I'm not bothered by it, and I'm still going to use it. So here you go. And I'm making sure that all the fold line is on the same side. So that's going to be your spine right there. So here I am just going through all of them, making sure that it's on the fold line and they're all together. And now what I'm going to do is make sure that I tap it all together, and making sure that the spine and the edge is all matching and all straight. Okay. I'm adding the clips here to make it easier to add the glue. Now, you don't want it too tight like that. Okay. You want it to be a little bit loose because you do want to make sure that the glue is going a little bit under, underneath the pages, and you'll see what I'm talking about actually once we're done. So I am putting the plastic covering over it, but I decided to put the book actually inside. Now, I should have had 2 of these bags, these shopping bags, to cover the other one, but in hindsight, I would do that. So I'm just making sure that you protect your books too. Okay, so now I'm using art glitter glue, and I am putting it on the edge, and you can see I'm being very generous with it. You can use a brush, you can use a foam brush, but I just used my fingers. It was just easier, and I can feel that it was going in. Now, later on, I will get a wet towel and just let's set it aside so I can clean my fingers. But I'm just making sure that I'm getting it all in the edges and also in pretty much the small crevices. I am going to take these 2 clips out eventually because it's not going to keep it. The clips will get in the way. But you'll see me taking it out, and then I'm putting the other books, the other heavy books, to make sure that it stays nice and still until it dries. Okay, and in the meantime, I'm going to cut the 2 cardboard to make the covers. So I'm just using the back of the paper pad that I had, and it was a pretty sturdy one. So um, yeah, any paper pad that you have, consider those. And sorry, the shaking of the table, but I'm just cutting them to size here. And I'm cutting it on both side because the front and the back, because it's that thick. And I don't have enough force to cut it all the way through, but here we go. And I just ripped it. No one's going to see it. And then the other piece of cardboard, I just saved it for another project. But these are the 2 cardboards that I'm going to be using. And yeah, I did a little oopsie there. And so I'm just cutting it out. No biggie. No one's going to see it. Only you and I will see it. We'll know. So now I'm choosing my front and my back cover. The third one is actually going to be the spine. And when I get to that, I'll show you other options of spine instead of using the paper. So I'm going to, again, use my finger. It just makes it easier. And I'm going to spread it all over the cardboard. I think I got a little bit too much, but it actually worked. So I'm just spreading it as much as possible. If that's the case, if you get too much glue, then take the other cardboard and smear the glue on the other cardboard, and then you can put it down. There we go. Now I'm centering it in the middle here. And since it's still wet and I did have a lot of glue, it was kind of slippery, so I had to hold it. But I'm folding the paper up. And sorry for the table shaking. I didn't even realize how much the table shook. Yeah, and use your bone folder too, because this collection is from the paper collection is an Anna Griffin paper collection, and I'll show you towards the very end. But I'm going to tell you right now, it is the flower. It's the finishing school, the flower card craft box, and I still have a lot of these beautiful papers, and I still wanted to use it. So I just thought they were going to be this art journal is going to be amazing. Now I've cut the corners, and make sure you have like a eighth of an inch over. Don't cut it to the very corner of the cardboard because then you'll see the cardboard. There's ways of remedying, remy. There's ways of fixing that. Now I'm just folding this over so that when I do fold the other, this flap under or over, excuse me, it will not poke out. And I'll show you in a minute what I mean. Okay, there we go. You see how some of the edges are poking out? I can still fix that. You can cut that, trim it. I'm going to leave it like that for now and then just finish these here. There we go. And the cardstock is a really nice, thick, sturdy cardstock. So I highly recommend it. And I'm just smoothing everything out just to make sure that there's not going to be any bubbles. Now I'm taking my pad and I'm putting it underneath so it could dry flat. And I'm doing that for both. Now I forgot to use the two papers that I had. So I'm going to add that to this journal and wish for the best. I think it's going to work out. I don't think it's going to come out. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing. But I'm applying the second layer because the first layer was still a little bit too thin. And I want to make sure that these pages are going nowhere. So I'm adding the two. I'm making sure that the glue is getting into those two papers that I just added, or the two sheets that I just added. And now I'm adding the second layer of glue here, making sure that all the edges do have glue. Okay, there we go. Awesome, awesome. I was really happy to use up my scraps because I did have a lot of stuff and I just didn't know what I was going to do with it. 9 by 12 was a little bit too big. Now here, after drying, the spine did get a little off. It kind of came to the end. So I was trying to fix it and now making sure that everything is glued so everything is fine. It's still a little sticky, but later on you'll see that I have fixed it. Yeah, and it's still bent, but everything is okay. I'm trying to push it down and retrain it to work with me here, and it's starting to get better at this point. So, and with the glue being wet, it's still very flexible. So if you have anything like this, know that you can still fix it. Okay, not that you're really going to see it afterwards. All right, so now I'm adding my third layer of glue. And I felt that the 3 layers of glue was actually enough to hold everything down. If your pages later on, as you're using the journal, comes out, you can always use like washi tape to fix it. Um, that would look really beautiful, or just use masking tape. So now I'm going to take these journals here and you see how the corner, some of it kind of sticks out. I'm not going to worry about it so much. You can tap the corners against the table. Oh, there's Jasmine joining me. And that will get rid of it. Or you can use the metal corner decorative pieces and that will just completely cover it up and nobody will know that. Okay. Only we will know that. That's all. Not a big deal. Okay, so I'm trying to press that in because it did stick out. You can cut it out, but because the corners was going to be a little bit exposed, and I will know about it then, I just did it that way. So Jasmine here is, I'm trying to work around Jasmine, and sorry for the kitty, but okay, she moved. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the cover and I'm going to glue it. But before I do, I'm deciding whether I want to put the spine inside the covers or have it exposed outside of the covers. And then I'm making sure, like, okay, do I want to use this instead? Um, you can use these ribbons and they would look beautiful. They will match perfectly with that. Here's another one that I have that is more, has more texture, has more like, I don't know, that shabbiness to it, and I just love it. But I just went ahead and went with the paper. I was going to do it like this because the measurements matched on one end, but I just didn't care for how it looked, and so I ended up changing it and trimming it down. But first, what I'm going to do is glue my cover to the top, and I'm just going to add it directly to one of the pages. So each page on the front page and the back page is going to be glued to the cover. And then there you go. At this point, there's no top or bottom still, so I'm fine. Putting the glue and then just making sure that it's all even, nice and even, and it's not off. And so, yeah, I'm doing that. And then I'm using my bone folder to make sure that the glue um, is adhered to the cover. And so I'm doing it little by little and just spreading the glue with the bone folder. If you don't have a bone folder, you can use like the pencil, or you can use a butter knife, edge of a butter knife, or let me see, or maybe the thick cardboard like that. You just cut a piece of the thick cardboard and make that your like bone folder. So I'm just adding more glue, but you can see I'm not adding it like all over. I'm not really concerned about the edges being glued down. I don't feel I'm going to have an issue with that. If I do it, then I could just glue it later. Now, Jasmine is here just supervising my work, making sure that I'm giving you great content here and doing my job correctly. And so now I'm going to do the other side, and I just do it little by little. Again, you can use a brush, or you can use a foam brush as well. I prefer my fingers and just have a wet towel handy right next to it so I can clean it up and not get glue all over my project or the table. So now I'm adding just a little bit more glue here and making sure that it goes down. Ah, Jazzy. Jazzy is my 3-year-old Maine Coon kitty cat. She doesn't like to be held or anything like that. She just likes to see and talk and supervise. And yeah, so you'll see a lot of her in the near future. So now I'm going to put that underneath the heavy books as well, making sure that it stays completely down. We're going to work on the spine, and now I'm going to cut down the spine to 4 inches by 6 inches. Okay, it gives me a lot of room for a lot of things. This I just cut down just for in case I wanted to use it as a tag in the future. Okay, now I'm using this Martha Stewart punch and start in the middle and then match the side, because on the left and the right side it has the design imprinted, so you can match it and it'll go really nicely. And I'm just doing that on both sides so that when I put the spine down, it will give like that nice um, I'm not going to say a wow factor, but it will give like that nice I guess polished look, or um, a little bit of edge, not a like a romantic edge. Okay, let's say that. Now I'm wanting to fold it. You can use the edge of the table to fold it, and you're going to train the fibers to curl. I'm first starting off with my glue bottle, and that makes it really easy. And now it's time to glue that. So as you can see, yeah, I'm using the edge of the table, and my kitty cat just is just too. I'm sorry. Sorry about Jazzy. She's here too as I'm filming, and but there you go. Now I'm going to make sure that both the front and the back matches, and so I'm going to add tick marks just to let me know where I could put the glue. Okay. Now I have to take. Oh, sometimes, yeah, I got to get my kitty cat out again. Um, I was really afraid to put glue on her tail. So here we go. So I'm putting glue on the side there. And I know I'm not going to extend it, making sure that it matches both the left and the right. And I'm pressing it down just to make sure that the glue does adhere. Okay, there we go. Beautiful, beautiful. I really and see how it just gives it a more romantic look, even though you can't really see it that much. Now, if you want to, you could ink the edges. That is optional, and that will give it a more it will give it a more defined look and also give it a more vintage look. So, anyways, this side here, I noticed that the cover extends about 1/4 inch from uh, the paper itself. Okay, and you'll see why in a minute why I did that. But I don't like these edges; it has to be covered, and so I'm going to use that. Then the paper that I have left, of course, and I'm going to glue it. Now, the front one, actually, I created a pocket, but again, I just love this piece here, this punch. It's really great. I will leave the description down below of what the name of this punch is, but it is from Martha Stewart. Okay, now look how just beautiful it looks. So I'm going to put glue, but only on the three sides because I want to make this into a pocket. Now, later on, you'll see that I'm going to put a eyelet in. So it's not going to be a pocket that you can put like you could put things completely inside, but the top and the bottom you'll be able to do it, and you'll see in what I'm talking about later on. So I decided again to uh, punch this with this paper punch. When you use any kind of border paper punch, you have to keep in mind that it's going to take some of like maybe another 1/4 of an inch, or depending on the paper punch. When you're cutting the paper to size, just give that leeway. Now, these were the extras from the punch, and I decided, well, I can use it. It's the same size, and so it will give it a nice appeal to it. So I decided to glue it down. And quite frankly, you're just using up scraps. I mean, I wouldn't know where else to put this un unless I put it in the recycle bin. So this is just another way of using your scraps too. I'm just trimming some of the excess paper off, and I'm adding glue to this one here and putting it down. I just love the way it turned out. It just looks really, really nice. Let me know in the comments if you feel that I should have added something or just let it be, or maybe I should have added a ribbon instead of the paper. But let me know what you would do. Okay, so now I'm just clearing up all of my stuff because, yes, I do get a little distracted easily. So I'm going to create like a little tag with this one. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Take the papers that I have and, maybe use it something. I'm just decorating the corners over there. That one, you'll see what I'm going to do with that one, but that's going to be in my Instagram and Facebook shorts. Okay, so it is time to add the eyelets. Yes. Was I going to do it, not do it? I just decided to do it. So I'm measuring the middle, but I'm adding little tick marks there to make sure where the edge of the paper is, and I'm going to have to erase my boo-boo there. So, because I don't want it to overlap that. I want it to be like at the edge, but not go over the edge of the book. So I'm just doing in the middle, and I'm putting a tick mark in the middle. I'm just kind of eyeballing the middle of that part. Um, there we go, and I'm fixing that there. If you don't want to add grommets or if you don't want to add anything to it, that's fine also. Um, I know that it is about 1/4 of an inch off in some of the journals, the art journals, they don't do that. Oh, it's 3/16, sorry, the hole and the eyelet, and I'm just making holes of that. But the reason why I did that is because if you wanted to add any kind of tabs, or if you wanted to add any kind of decorative things to your paper, for example, you can add trim to it, you can add lace to it. It'll look really, really beautiful. It's not going to get in the way. It's actually going to kind of hide a little bit, or poke out just a little bit, and it would still be beautiful. So yeah, that was my reasoning for if you wanted to not use the eyelets. But here, just make sure that you're going with A1. So and I'm making sure that I've got the right one. I've had the did the wrong one before, and it was a hot mess. Perfect. Love it. Now these eyelets are from Stampin' Up. I believe Ranger has them. I will add them in the description box to see where else you can get it. Okay. And now the time. Oh, this is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I love this ribbon. This is from Waste Not Paper, and this is in the sunshine. And so you're going to cut 24 inches of this ribbon, and it doesn't look like it's going to go through, but trust me, it goes through, and it just makes this whole journal, I mean, it goes up a level and makes it so elegant and so beautiful, and that's why I decided to call it the fancy art journal. But I cut it at an angle. It's a good idea to glue it, fold it in half, making sure that the ends match, and then just get like the tip of it, and from the inside, uh, put it through the eyelet, open it up, and then run it through. Put the two tails of the ribbon through, and then just push it. Beautiful. Oh my God, so beautiful. And now just cut the end. You can actually either glue the ends, because it will fray. Okay, not very badly, but it still will fray. Or burn the ends with match. Okay, here we go. I'm doing it for the other side too. I'm doing it through the inside. I'm looping it through the inside. You can loop it through the outside going in. That's fine as well. It'll give you a different look, but I mean, this is just beautiful. And now we're going to tie this, and you've got this beautiful. This is a high quality ribbon. I highly suggest this ribbon. Okay, and it's just perfect for the Anna Griffin paper, and I'm using the Canson thing. Yeah, it's perfect. Okay, so now I want to create a book plate. So first things first, decide which is going to be the front. Once you decide that, then you're going to add your book plate. Now I love this color, and I wanted to add a texture to the whole uh, book, to the whole art journal. I did add texture with the ribbon, and that's like a soft, satiny, beautiful one. But now I'm adding this ribbon here, which is 2.5 inches, and I'm just fraying the edges just to give it a more texture to it. Now, what I'm doing is I'm using the front page of the paper pad, because it's still a really great cardstock. It's pretty thick, but I needed to write something on there. So what I'm going to do is cut a little piece here, make sure it's trimmed. I've got to trim it down just a little bit to fit that other uh there we go. There we go. Beautiful, perfect. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this. That was a Stampin' Up ticket punch. And so I'm going to add that. I will try to find ticket punches and put the link down below. Also, I have an Amazon store too with my favorite things. And so I'll have that link down below. But I just think it looks perfect. Those two punches together just is awesome. So I'm going to glue it down. Now, normally I would write first before gluing it down, because if I make a mistake, then I could, easily fix it. Okay. But now I want a background. I still want that white background to it. only to kind of separate the patterns of each of the paper, and you'll see it more. You can use different colors too. You can use, whatever colors. There's that pink, there's that chartreuse, there's the light pink, the green, the peach. Maybe not the peach, unless you use a darker peach. I think that'll work with the darker peach. Okay. I mean, you tell me. Now I'm going to use Fabri-Tac with this. Sorry, I got off screen. I'm going to use Fabri-Tac with this because Fabri-Tac holds fabric and paper together. It holds paper and paper together really well, but with fabric and paper, it's awesome. Now, I put a lot thinking that it was going to seep through the fabric and also glue onto the paper and kind of do like, one shot, killing two birds with one stone kind of thing. Poor birdie. But it didn't work, so I had to add more glue. So here we go. Beautiful. And I just think the blue just really goes well with the green. So I like that, but I'm having second thoughts about it because I really like the size of that. So I'm going to save that little piece and I'm going to put it in there and see if I can use it for something else in the future. Okay, so now you'll see some other I'm changing my mind with this. I'm going back and forth with this. And so when I do that, I kind of set the whole project aside and just make sure. Now I'm going to tie this. I'm going to do it in two bows just to see how it looks like. I'm not sure how I feel about it. At least not with this one here. You let me know. Do you prefer me tying it together or doing the two bows separately? So, anyways, I'm showing you that this is Waste on Paper and Sunshine, and then I'm also using the Anna Griffin's Finishing School in the Flower Cart gift box or craft box. Lots of stuff there, lots of stuff, and lots of great paper too. You'll see that in my Instagram and my Facebook post. Okay, folks. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. If you did like this project, please give me a thumbs up and also consider subscribing to my channel. I'll be having some more videos out there. And don't forget my Instagram page and also my Facebook page. Okay. You have a wonderful day. Until next time. Bye bye.